Hi, my name is Autumn Johnson, and I'd like to talk with you a bit today about Abigail Adams and her contributions and impact in the colonial period in the American Revolutionary War. The course text, or the course reading for this week on Betsy Ross, seems to indicate that Betsy Ross sort of became kind of famous and sort of an American national icon as we know her today, sort of by chance. Um, and this was not the case with Abigail Adams. Abigail Adams was known from a very early age to be a woman of great intellect, a woman of great moral um, philosophy. She was a very deep thinker. She was a critical thinker. And she was very engaged in the happenings of her time for a woman in the colonial era. Unlike perhaps the wives of George Washington or Thomas Jefferson, Abigail Adams was very much involved with the American Revolution and with the politics of the American Revolution. Abigail Adams was a revolutionary. She did support the cause of the American Revolution. Um, she counseled her husband, John Adams, on numerous things involving the American Revolution. He kept in constant contact with her, or at least what would be known as constant for the time. He sought her advice and counsel on almost everything he did that was of any sort of impact. He valued her counsel and her advice very much. They very much had more of a um, equal setting, sort of, I would think, akin to more modern marriages than colonial marriages at the time. Abigail Adams was not a woman who was afraid to voice her opinion. She was a dedicated wife and a dedicated homemaker and dedicated mother to her children. But she was not uninvolved. She was known to take part in the political discussions that would occur in her home. She was admired greatly by American Revolutionary leaders that we know today. She was admired by George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. She actually corresponded with Thomas Jefferson on issues involving her husband, the American Revolution. He considered her to be a woman of great integrity and great knowledge. And he was another man who was very important at that time, who also recognized Abigail's importance. She certainly had a large impact on John Adams' work immediately preceding the American Revolution and during the American Revolution. And from her writings with Thomas Jefferson, it seemed to suggest that she gave him advice and counsel as well. She wasn't a woman that would sort of hang back and let her husband make decisions and do his own thing. She was very involved. And if she didn't like something, if she didn't agree with something, John Adams quickly knew about it. So she was a woman who, quite different for her time, was well known, unlike the author of the text argues Betsy Ross was. Abigail Adams was very well known during her time. Her sort of reputation and renown isn't something that's just known for today. She was well respected, well admired by her peers, and looked to be really a strong example of womanhood, of a woman who was dedicated to her family, dedicated to her husband, but also had her own opinions and her own way of doing things, and was very much an autonomous female and an autonomous human being.